Hey, how's it going? Sorry about that. I just wanted to tell a little story, and I was cooking, and I have had the opportunity to sort of see, like, on my social media accounts, like, uh, what my YouTube one says, and it talks about sometimes I cook when I'm doing the talking. So I'm just gonna do that again here right now. And I've been really, really lazy lately, but so I've been into like a pilaf style cooking type deal. So what I have here is a couple of fake meat patties, like a half an onion. Can you see that? Part like a carrot grated, and there's garlic. There's kind of a lot of garlic because I really like the garlic. It's probably more than most people would use. There's three big cloves and one little sort of skinny one in this, I don't know what, 10-inch, 9-inch, 10-inch frying pan. Oh, get up on your thing. There we go. So, and I put some lentils, probably about a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup of lentils, and about the same amount of rice, and I threw some olive oil at it. And what I'm going for here is like a spicy lentil, fake beefy with rice, one meal skillet deal. And I mean, I could have gone more. Well, I could not have gone more vegetables because right at this time of the month, I don't actually have a whole bunch of other things besides. Besides what's in the pan already. I have broccoli, but I'm not gonna put that in there. Anyway, so it's on like a low heat. I got this new electric stove recently, and it has some weird features like. Well, I don't know. It's an electric stove, and it heats super slowly. And the burners have this. I will show you. It'll ring like a bell sometimes if I hit it the right way. But this thing, I think, it's down like that when the heat is on, or when you have a pan on the heat and the heat is turned on, and then you take off your hand or you take off your pan rather, and I guess. It prevents I don't know what it does. I didn't get a manual with it, and I don't care that much. It's just interesting that I'll pick up a pan or put one down and then it's all bing. So maybe that's part of the warning. I feel like it's a child safety device. So boy, I sure forgot what I was in the middle of trying to say before all this burner talk. It heats really slow and weird. Like the oven, my goodness. I got it after Thanksgiving, and I don't always make a turkey, but I did last year, and it was with my old stove that this one replaced, and that one had some serious problems too. I just don't like electric stoves. They're uneven. They start doing weird things and you don't know why. Like, I don't know how to diagnose why half of the burner stops working. Like, what is that? So anyway, I have it on number 2.5, and at that temperature on the stovetop, I was talking about the oven just now, but on the actual stovetop, it does heat up, but like if you want to get something like a low rolling bubble or boil, you gotta put it on like 5. Is that normal? I don't know. I don't remember. It seems like it would start boiling at at least one whole number, or yeah, about. I used to be able to get a low boil at like 3.5 on the other stove. I don't know. It works. Don't get me wrong. It works. So I'm basically just stirring everything around and sort of chopping up the meat patty here with my little spoon. and nothing exciting to see. And I'm doing that to coat the rice and the lentils with oil. And I am going to sweat the vegetables, the carrots and the onion and the garlic on this low temperature, because I'm going for a certain flavor texture type situation. Now, I'm not through seasoning. I am really partial. I'm from Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, and in LA there's this brand of Mexican convenience food, and they make these great tamales. And you can get like big honkers, or you can get like little slider tamales, I guess. And it comes in a white wrapper with a plastic wrapper on the inside around the tamale itself. And on the white wrapper is the name of the company in blue, like uppercase letters, and it's XLNT, excellent. And they are excellent. And they are, just to sidetrack a little, I got into a tamale conversation with a gentleman that was at Walmart, and he was stocking the aisle that I was on, and I pulled down a can of Nally's tamales, which are like really greasy. It's like mushy. The cornmeal, it's like definitely like soaked, like over wet, and all of that. And if you want an authentic tamale experience, that is not it. But this guy saw me pulling it down, and he asked me about them, and he said that he was from New Mexico, and he ate like hatch pepper tamales. That's what he was used to. And I'm like, well, duh, you're from there, of course that's what you're gonna get. But we were talking about this other brand that's from Texas, and what is the name? Hold on. Hold on. I kept the packaging because it's like a, I don't know, like, I feel like I could use this. It's like a pretty decent little drawstring bag. Anyway, these are the ones, Texas Tamales Company, or Tamale Company. And so we were talking about these, and these are dry. They come frozen, and they're wrapped similarly to the excellent that I described, but no plastic. And they're decent, you know. The flavor is good to me. And so this guy from New Mexico says, they're so small. They're so small. And I'm like, I was just recommending them. We're talking about them. I don't make them. He seemed to think that, I don't know. I think what it was is that I expressed that I liked them, and so I guess he thought I was just team those. I'm not particular. I'll eat dry ones. I'll eat greasy chili oil soaked ones. I just like a tamale. And so, among other ones that I've had, my caregiver, it turns out, is married to a guy from El Salvador. And they make tamales at her house often, and she'll bring me some, and the way they make them is it'll have, I've gotten them all different sizes. I think when you have a bunch of different people just hand making them, they just come out different sizes. I got one that was like the end of everything, so it was like a big fat thing of corn, and then like a bunch of the filling, and it was like this monster one. It was like a pierogi, what do you call those? Like a stromboli. It was totally the mistake one, or one of them. But, you know, she said they came from, like, the end of the batch, so some of them were cookie. Some of them were big like that one, but only one was the Hulk. And then others were, like, little, like, like, little. Maybe one of the kids made them. I don't know. But, the excellent ones, though, are the ones that I'm going for something of, because they use carrots in their meat part, and it's so much carrot. I mean, it has beef, so with the oil from the beef, well, there's going to be oil, and then like the chili powder, it's going to be kind of red, but when they have so much carrot in them that they are orange, the grease is fully orange. And the filling, the cornmeal, I didn't used to do this, so like I know better now. I would take the plastic off and just steam it in my steamer, but I just used to make them with the plastic on and steam them. And the corn, and this will happen with corn, it's like a texture thing, but it would make this sort of gummy corn almost, because it had like a firm texture yet soft, like a gummy. And it was corn, and when it's soaked like that, it just gets this weird kind of gelid thing going. So, but it's not weird flavor. I mean, it works. The whole thing works. And but the meat though is sort of like hot dog chili, by which I mean no beans, just like the meat sauce kind of chili. And side note, I just learned that kind of chili is not from south of the American border. It's like some Greek dude came up with it. And I guess it's not, I mean, I guess it's like a normal Greek thing. I don't know what food it is that is Greek that has that kind of meat in it, but it doesn't matter. Point is that those excellent tamales have that Greek chili, meat chili, or hot dog chili flavor and texture, and I just love it. So I'm trying to reproduce it, I guess. But, you know, to make this healthy, it's fake meat, and I got like lentils and carrots in it. Like, there's no meat. And there's not going to be corn, and there's not. I'm out of cheese, which I'm kind of depressed about. So here's the story, though. I mentioned at the beginning of talking here. I have my little writing machine, and I was going up the street, just doing my normal little. I just go out for exercise every day, so I like to go up the street I like to go up there on any day, because it's kind of like an industrial area with a strip mall up there, and I think the only thing in the strip mall right now is a pot store. That's neither here nor there. It's just, well, it's there. It's there. But anyway, I have to cross a street to get there, and it wasn't busy, but there was traffic on this road. There's always traffic on this road. So I'm like getting across it, and I'm feeling one of my pedals. First it's a sound, then it's like a vibration, and I'm like, no, I can't be like pedaling. Like, it's like something was wrong. So I pulled over, and of course, at the time that I pulled over, I was not really at a place where there was like a cutout or anything, and this road that I just said is so, well, it's quiet on a weekday. It's quiet, but especially on a weekend at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, it's not on a Saturday. That's not the traffic time, but I swear to God, when I stopped to check my pedal, every car in the area decided that they needed to come on that road. So, but I was like, you know what? It's not that busy. You can just go way around me and veer into the other lane. So when I did finally get down there and get a look at it, the pedal was unscrewing, and the cycle came unassembled, partially unassembled, and I put it together with my caregiver. So I was trying to remember which of us put on the pedal that fell off, and I was very dismayed to find out that it was me, because when at first she was like, I was like, do you want some help? Because I've worked in bike shops and been on wheels my whole life basically, and I said, do you want some help? And she was like, no, I know how to do it. And I was like, okay. So she went to put the pedals on, and she didn't realize that the left one turns one way and the right one turns another way when you screw it in. So I had to tell her that, but it turns out I screwed in the one that fell off. So I have only myself to blame for that, but I will say that it is, I suffer from muscle strength deficit and all kinds of stuff from the paralysis thing, and even though I wasn't paralyzed on the side in my dominant side, I still, when you're doing something like putting a bike together, you kind of need both hands. It's not, it's not really a one-handed situation. In fact, I think there even was an invention that came out that helped you have another hand. So if you don't have another person there, I mean, sometimes you do need a third hand. It's maybe like doing surgery by yourself, and if you're by yourself, you gotta figure out how to work some clamps or something. But anyway, even though my right side is dominant and it was not paralyzed, I obviously didn't get it tight enough, and I feel like it's because I wasn't able to hold the other side long enough. Like when it started meeting resistance, I just kind of stopped when I had to stop, but I remember thinking at the time, I could probably turn this another couple of turns, and boy was I right. So I didn't get very far. I mean, it was about a third of what I would normally do for my ride, but it is hard to pedal with one pedal. So I had just gone to the doctor yesterday about my shoulders, because that is the injury that I got from using the wheelchairs, and that is why I now have this cycle thing. So I just went to the guy yesterday because my shoulders have been hurting me like crazy it's going on 5 years now, because the stupid COVID made it hard for me to get into the doctor and get examined, and now it's kind of messed up because the medical corps are burned out and tired in a lot of places, and it was already a situation where I'd get like a physician of some type, because I have some multiple things going on that I see doctors about, and they were just like, you just get used to them, learn their name, talk to them, and decide, oh, okay, I can deal with this person, and then they're all sending you a letter, hi, it was great knowing you, I'm moving on to another practice in another place, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, so sick of hearing it, because it's happened so many times. So I'm seasoning. I got my trusty Italian seasoning, which I need more of. Ooh, that's not good. I might have another package of it somewhere. I have a secondary spice cabinet. Whoa, I'm going to put it all there. So I put a bunch. And I guess I'll throw a little bit of thyme at it because, I don't know, herbs is good. It's strong, but I don't think it's going to be much of a problem with all the other strong seasoning. Just a little bit. Come on, come out of there. Don't dump the whole thing. Okay, that's probably enough. And now a ton of cumin. Get that spicy flavor situation, that tamale-esque situation. Ugh. Well, yeah. It's not a kettlebell. It doesn't want to come out of the shaker very easily. It's like you pour it down at the end and it all falls there and kind of clogs. So that sound I made, it sounded like I was passing a turd. was basically disgust with this. But you know, it's fine, because if the holes were bigger, it would dump way too much out. It's just so fine, and so fine a powder that if you're me and you're like impatient and you're like shake it, shake it, shake it, shake. If the holes were bigger, no, it would suck and it would be terrible. And I'm gonna put some paprika, because that has a flavor and a color. Ooh, and that has big holes, and a whole bunch fell out like I was just talking about, but I caught it. Boy, you know, gotta be careful about how, like, I have seen so many things written or on video about the power of your voice lately, and there have been some in the past couple of days that have been kind of specific about it. That, you know, it's like, it's messages, you know, but I mean messages that I'm getting from various places, but also places other people can see them, and what they are is, watch out what you're saying, watch out even what you're thinking, because words are so powerful right now. And sometimes they specify why the power is, and sometimes they don't, because some people have been saying it for a while, and they, I think, figure they're people that are regulars on their channel or whatever the outlet is already know that it's what was I saying? I already forgot. The regulars already know that, well, they already know that that's what the conditions are going to be. I don't remember specifically what I was saying, but I do remember that that's something that I was going to say. Okay, so now I've got a bunch of seasoning thrown at it, and everything's nice and shiny, although I could actually put some more oil in there. It's not swimming in oil, that's not necessary. These fake meat patties, aside from all the beets they put in them, which I can't taste beet at all. Like, I don't know how they get rid of that flavor, and I don't mind it. I like beets, but I don't think I want my Mexican-ish. That's not even Mexican food. I don't think they make anything like this crap that we eat here. But anyway, this spicy food, it just needs to have a little bit more cooking of the spices, because I'm gonna then add some homemade pico de gallo I made. That's actually pretty. Not, I mean, I suppose since this is on here and potentially anybody from anywhere could watch it, I have noticed that like, I'll watch those videos where British people eat American food or something, and I've noticed that what they call spicy, I call seasoning, because what I think of as spicy is hot. Seasoning doesn't, like, have heat. Spicy, to me, has heat. So, anyway, I made some pico de gallo, and I like to make it in the blender because, again, I'm chasing after a flavor from LA. But before I moved to where I am now, I was going to this taqueria that was on the corner from my house, and I went there a lot. It was like a spot that was right on the corner from my house, or a corner away, or whatever. I hope you know what I mean. And easy, and it was delicious, and it was inexpensive, and they had this salsa on the counter. See, but I know Americans call everything with tomato and peppers and onions salsa, but they have different meanings for a reason. So they would have this pico de gallo out, but they put theirs in a blender, and it was so good. Like, I just loved the flavor of it. And I remember asking the owner, I was like, I'm gonna leave, and he's like, oh, that's too bad, you're one of our best customers. Whatever, I bought for one person like 4 days a week, but whatever, regular. Anyway, I was like, man, I would sure love to know like the recipe for this salsa. Is fantastic. And oh my god, he got mad so fast. He went from friendly to fuck you in 2 seconds flat. I was like, I'm not giving you my recipe, then you're gonna go up there and open your own restaurant. I was like, are you out of your mind? I don't want to be bothered with this shit. I've worked in restaurants. You can have it. I literally want to be able to eat this at my house. It's, you know, tomatoes and onions and things. It's whatever, though. He was very, and I was like, well, damn, you're so hostile. I don't even know. I'm going to be here for like 3 more days. I don't know if I want to come in. But I did, because screw him. I knew that when I came up here, where I am now, I was not going to be able to get the same kind of food that I was getting there. And I mean ethnic food. You could get food from the world down there. That may be true here also, but not as much. So, okay. Now that I've warmed it and crumbled up the meat and whatever and mixed the seasonings. Ooh, that needs to be crumbled more. Not like I'm not going to stir it again. So first I'll put some water. Because I want to cook. Actually, first I should put this pico de salsa. I'll go ahead and put that first. So it's just, like I said, it's got citrus, tomatoes, onions, some garlic, Italian seasoning. I always put it. Lemons. I didn't have limes. Either way, though, lime or lemon works. And I put cumin, and I put dry peppers. I put a little paprika. I put Molino, I think is the pepper. I do have the package here. This one. And cayenne pepper. And then also I put a serrano and a big giant, like that jalapeno was like 4 inches long. And I took out some seeds and some ribs because I wanted some spice. So I put in a little bit here, and I'm just gonna mix it in. I may add more, but I have to leave room for the water because the lentils and the rice are gonna, you know, multiply when they get wet. Yeah, I'm gonna add, I think I probably put like a 1/4 cup of my sauce in there. I'm gonna put another glop. I don't know how much. We'll see. We'll see how much falls out. Okay, that's about a 1/4 cup. Again, I don't want to go crazy because I know I'm going to put water in there. So I haven't tasted it because I do this all the time, and I know I already know what it's going to taste like. But I also know that, dang, I wish I had some cilantro. I don't. I also know that I want to wait to put anything like salt on it until it's all done because, I don't know, sometimes salt, like if you're making beans, you don't want to add them too soon. These are not beans. But, I don't know. When I knew that about, like, if you add salt to cooking beans too early, it'll make the beans break down all weird and they won't cook right. Like, it interrupts the cooking process somehow in a bad way. So I just kind of go by that rule of thumb generally and just wait till everything's done to salt it. Because also, people can then salt to their own taste. Like, it doesn't have to be my level of saltiness, which I have had a couple of friends that were sort of concerned about how much salt I put on my food. This was years ago, and I've since changed my ways because I've gotten older and I learned that I don't want to get sick like that. So now I'm going to grab some water. Oh, it smells pretty good, in case you're interested. And what I'm going to do, I got some nice filtered water, double filtered. because we used to have a water treatment plant right down the road, which would have helped with the tap water. And then it closed for some reason, and I never heard or saw anything about it in the local paper. And then it became a police training center that never, and sometimes there's like one or two police cars parked at this place, and otherwise it's just empty and vacant looking, just like it was when the water treatment plant closed. So I don't even know if they're keeping that. But they did make a giant fentanyl bust, so I don't know. I never see the police in this town. I don't know what's going on with those people. And that's fine with me. I never really had problems with them. I did used to have a little bit of interest from them when I lived in Hollywood, but I was a punk rocker. They screwed with all of the punk rockers. I remember this one time, sidetrack. I was walking down the street with the old singer of my first band, and he was probably like, well, he was 11 when he started singing for the band, so he was probably like 12 or 13 when this happened. Band long over with, but that's where I knew him from. And also, well, that's not where I knew him from first. I actually babysat him and his brother, who was also in the band, because they lived next door, and I heard his mom saying they needed a babysitter, and I was like, I'll do it. So anyway, that's how I met them, but they were in the band, and we remained friends for years after that. So me and this kid and his little friend, because I'm like 4 years older than them. Wait, I don't know, maybe more, maybe 5 or 6, but you know, kind of substantially older. And in Hollywood, we lived off of Santa Monica Boulevard, and at the time, I don't know what it's like now, but at the time, it was a big, like, pickup drag street for, like, the male hooker guys. And so we would not walk on Santa Monica Boulevard because 2 young teenage boys, and it's hot there. So, excuse me, they didn't have shirts on. And if they were to be walking around up there on Santa Monica Boulevard with no shirts on, then people would get the wrong idea. Same reason I didn't walk up there. Like, also, Sunset was more the woman's street, but people were not particular. If I were walking up there, sometimes people would just be all propositioning me, and I'd be like, I am a child, go away. Because I'd be on my way to school. Just to explain. But also, after that, like, people just, I don't know, I guess they just thought all of Hollywood was someplace you could pick up a date or whatever. Anyway, me and these 2 guys were walking down the alley to avoid that, mainly for their sake, and a sheriff came down the alley in his car and made us stop and gave us a talking to, and then told us if he ever saw us in this alley again, I don't know, like, we'd be in trouble or something. But I was like, I've never seen you here before. This is where I grew up. I've been down this, like, every day for the past 7 years. What are you talking about? But they are so crazy, they'll just say some stupid shit like that to you, like, don't walk around in your own neighborhood. And then when he was like, why are you walking in an alley? And I told him, he must have been a Christian, because he got all, like, appalled that I said, yeah, I didn't want to walk up there with these kids because I didn't want the people driving by to think they were hookers. Oh, my goodness. Talk about jumping up on your bumper and clutching your pearls. He didn't do that, but he definitely did some pearl clutching. He just, like, he couldn't believe it came out of my mouth, and I'm like, you work these streets. Why are you surprised? Anyway, how did I get on that subject? I don't know. Well, this is gonna have to cook for a while. I don't know what to do. Because if I pause this, I mean, I can pause it, but if I try to switch away from this, it's not a camera, it's my phone. So I can't, like, watch something else. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to do a short thing later, because This has already run super long. Anyway, I finish the story of the tricycle, my cycle where the pedal fell off? I don't think I did. Well, I ended up having to partially one side pedal, but mostly use my legs while I'm sitting on this cycle contraption, almost as if there were no pedals. But I got home and I was like, oh my god, this is inconvenient. Like, I could still go out. I could just screw it back on and go back out. Well, I tried to do that. I tried to screw that pedal on and it wasn't biting, and I was like, oh my god. Like, I started to lose my mind because I was like, okay, I can buy another crank and pedal. I can handle it. Can't cost that much. So I get the what do you call the guidebook that it came with it. That's not the name of it, but whatever, it has the specs on it. You can't buy one crank and one pedal. You got to buy the whole set. And I'm like, that's gonna really interfere with things, because the plan for next month when I get paid, July, was to get insurance, renter's insurance, because I keep it in the house along with my other valuables, and I wanted to get it insured. And I was like, oh my god, this pedal does not want to go on there. Are you telling me that before I could insure it, something that I have to pay for, all expensive, is going to happen? And then I said, you know what, I was afraid it was going to get stolen before I could insure it, so this is better. And I just been talking about in my last video, I think, unforeseen circumstances arising and messing you up. But I think because, and I find this is often helpful, like every time, don't lose your mind about stuff. I found the paper with the specs on it, and then I did some other business with a part that I got to put on there that didn't work out, and I found out, nope, I can't return it. But I have options for that too. The thing is, though, I instead of just getting all upset, I'm like, it's Saturday, so I can't call anybody to talk about any kind of part or anything until Monday. And I was like, why not save yourself losing your mind and not freak out? And so I didn't. And then about an hour later, I was walking by, and it was sitting where it's usually I keep it, and there's a shelf next to it, and the wrench was on the shelf, and I said, you know what? Let me try it one more time. And what do you think happened? I was able to reattach it. Where I couldn't do it, I tried over and over and over. Once I got home after it fell off, I was like, oh my god, it's stripped on the inside. The pedal is stripped. I look at the pedal's not stripped. I'm like, okay, the inside of the crank is stripped. I'm screwed. I just got to buy all this over again. I was like, you know what? Let me just try it one more time. Guess what happened? I was able to reattach it. I want to say it's because I didn't lose my mind. Well, no, I will say that. I think that's why it worked out. It could have gone either way. Okay, I'm just going to give this a quick look to see if maybe... Oh, no. See, all that time I've been talking, this thing's been covered up. It's on 2.5. It's not even got a bubble. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Maybe I'll come back and show you, or I'll link a picture of the finished product. Anyway, I had to go. Thank you and good night.